Right, so the South African Weather Service has warned of severe conditions, including disruptive snow and rain in a number of provinces. The warnings ranging from level 2 to level 6 have been issued for the Eastern Cape, the Western Cape, the Northern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal. Now, in parts of the Eastern Cape, icy roads and traffic disruptions can be expected, while flooding has been forecast in some areas of the coastal provinces. The warnings come amid the battering of various towns in the Eastern Cape, especially in Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. Yesterday, large parts of the metro were submerged, with several key roads closed. Hundreds of families have been left destitute. But for more details, we cross now live to our reporter Sipha Kema, who is at the depot of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. Sipha, what's the latest where you are?
Well, where I am right now is a depot for human settlements as well as infrastructure from the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality. Now, I just want to show you, Naledi, the extent of damage to properties such as this and infrastructure. Of course, we came from Matanzima Road, showing you that bridge. Now, if you were to look at the lining of the mud there, it's going to show you just how much water or how much the building was submerged or underwater, as you can see. With that door broken down there, that most of the offices on this ground level had water coming into there and actually damaging everything that was inside those offices. We're going to take a closer look at one of the accessible areas that, or rather offices that we can actually get to. Now, we just want to also bring you here just to show the extent of damage that has occurred here. Now, as we're getting in closer, we're going to see that even cars, I mean, we've seen some of the visuals that have been circulating, cars flowing with the water, some submerged underneath the water and issues. And here at this depot, one of the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality vehicles was actually one of those vehicles that were affected. Currently, as you can see, it is sitting there, which is going to be a big problem, because I think you can also see at the back of the bakkie, the lining there, that's showing where exactly the water was, and inside this garage where the water levels came up to. But I think getting a closer look into one of those offices here, Naledi, that is actually going to show you just how much damage are to these offices. Now, this, you can imagine, is the only accessible one that we can safely get into, just to show you what exactly is going on. But of course, we do need to move slowly and carefully, because it is slippery. The mud you're seeing might seem shallow, but actually, Naledi, as you walk in, you would find that your feet sink in. There you can see, as we're moving in, your feet sink in, and it is quite slippery. You can see as we're all walking through this side, trying to find solid ground to walk through there. Now, we're coming up to one of the offices that's here at this depot, just to show you inside what happened when the doors bust open because of those floods that were coming in. Completely damaged. This was the kitchen area that was used by the staff. You can see the lining where exactly the water was. Some of those appliances completely destroyed. An office here, I mean, one of the offices that's here, completely gone inside. And Naledi, I mean, you can just imagine, if we're looking at the infrastructure damage to offices and public offices and buildings, you can just imagine the houses and homes of those families that have had to be evacuated, people having to replace their personal belongings, but grateful to have actually to be living right now. But you can see, look at this damage. The fridge is completely done. Everything inside the walls have collapsed. The shelves have completely collapsed. Sir, I believe this is your office?
Yeah, my restroom, Sisi.
Your restroom?
Yes, yes.
And everything is gone?
It's gone. Everything is gone. My toolbox, my files, I was putting my files on my locker. Everything is, it's a mess. It's a mess. I don't know how can I say, as you see. And
it's quite a start to your Monday morning.
Yes, yes. It's like a traumatizing thing, because we are not aware of this. We are aware that there was this thing that happened at the fire station. We didn't know if our restroom is like this.
Now, Naledi, I want to also move you along to one of the worst areas that were hit in this area, well, within this depot. Now, it's sort of a treatment plant, really, a part of infrastructure and water here that has actually been hit. Now, we're going to try and just move on slowly and safely to that area. I think you would find that the extent of damage that we find there is quite alarming. Now, this is not the only public office or government office that we can say was affected. The driving station, testing station in Karega was also hit hard. It's been closed down. We know that there were issues there as well, and having the infrastructure collapse. Now, look at that wall collapse there. And we were told that there were some containers here that were actually swept away by the waters and the floods, Naledi. So you can just imagine. Now, from here, Naledi, we will be bringing you visuals from one of those residential areas that were evacuated. And I mean, you could just imagine if the extent of damage looks like this here, how much more in those private houses?
And part of the issue, Sipha, is that you've got weather warnings still coming in, saying that more inclement weather is expected even today. So, I mean, in these conditions, how is it that people even prepare for even worse or even more of that bad weather?
Well, absolutely. And I've been just also for preventative measures, as I've mentioned, that they're actually evacuating even those in low-lying areas, not just only the affected areas, but those that could possibly be affected with the worst weather that's still coming. We were informed that weather is about to get worse. I mean, we have been feeling the drizzle and the rain starting to come in throughout the morning. So it isn't over yet, but we're going to hear from the MEC of Cocta, Zolile Williams, who's going to be telling us what exactly is the way forward. But we know that also Gift of the Givers, one of the organizations that have been on the ground from yesterday, assisting these communities as well with immediate relief. But Naledi, we will be coming back with more from those residential areas, low-lying areas, informal settlements and affected areas.
Right, so we will be speaking to the Mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay just after 8:30. But thank you so much for that update.